All right, so for this next video, I'm going to show you how to complete page 1 of the ecological footprint calculator. So you've just finished working on your calculator and you are at the results page. All right, so you have some number of Earths that you are using. You have your personal Earth overshoot day. There's some descriptions of each of these here. You have results part 1 and results part 2. In order to fill both of those in, there's two things. If you're at home, you won't have access to a physical copy of the paper that I am giving guys in class, but you do have access to the document down here, which is a Word document. I know some of you guys are becoming more familiar with using Google Docs as well, so you're welcome to use any of those resources if you want. I know Mr. Mugg is teaching you those, so feel free to use that. But I have at least one digital copy here that you can use. Now the key thing is if you click on this and open it up, you want to make sure to save it right away. So this document opens up, you can enable editing. Make sure the first thing you do, go File, Save As, all right, and save it somewhere that you know you're going to find. All right, I'm going to go and save it to my science folder for ecological footprint, okay? So I'm going to say Mr. Kelly Eco Footprint 2020. Okay, so I've got that saved now. And this is going to be the sheet that you're going to fill in as you're looking through your results. Okay, this instruction, that was the first instruction video. The rest of the page is going to be, this instruction video will be showing up here. And so as you're looking through, there's a couple other resources for one of the last sections down here, but these are just extra links for the time being, so don't need to look at those. Okay, I'm going to do a side-by-side so you can see this, and this is probably going to be helpful for you when you're trying to fill this in. So let's look at results part 1. Over here you can see it says word for word, your personal Earth overshoot day is, and then you can fill in this blank here. Once again, if you're doing this on paper, a little bit easier to copy while you have this open. If you're doing it on a computer, then you can just select this. All right, I always like selecting a little spot of it and actually typing in so it doesn't just keep expanding the line really significantly, but that's just my own personal OCD nature. The next one, if everyone lived like you would need, or we would need, however many Earths, so you're going to fill that section in. Now, the third question skips to the next page, and they've kind of rearranged this since I made this worksheet, so it's a little bit out of order. But if you click on Results Part 2, the next three numbers are down here. So these three numbers. Now, you can get a description of what these are. A hectare, guys, is just one unit of area. We will talk about those a little bit more, but it's less important that you know how large a hectare is, and it's more important for the time being that you record your numbers. So number 3 matches up with the ecological footprint. Number 4 says your carbon footprint. So in this case, mine is 9.9 according to this survey, and your carbon footprint percentage, 56%. Then you're going to skip back up here. You have 5 different columns, all with titles at the bottom. The largest column is going to go here. So in my case, my largest column seems to be goods. And I had, if I hover over this, it says 1.7 GHA, global hectares. All right, and then I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom one. You're going to fill in the remainder of these, but I'm just going to show you, skip a couple steps here. All right, the bottom one is going to be services, and the amount was 0.9. Okay, so you'll be filling each of those in. Then you're going to get to the bottom of page 1, and it has 5 goals and 5 steps. Just like if you were to try and get better at basketball, you might come up with the goal of, I want to hit every layup, or I want to hit every free throw. So that might be your goal. But one of the steps that you could take to get there is to practice shooting maybe 50 free throws a day. All right, or maybe you'll practice 50 free throws with your left hand, 50 free throws with your right hand, whatever it might be. Well, the same goes for goals and steps for improving your ecological footprint. One example might be maybe you want to improve how much trash you create. So your goal is to reduce trash, and your steps to doing that are to eat more whole food. In other words, food that does not have packaging around it. Maybe a goal that you have is to waste less water. And the step that you take to do it is by making sure you don't leave the water running in the shower when you aren't in it or using it. Maybe you have a goal to waste less electricity, and your step that you take to do it is to turn off lights when you leave a room. Whatever those goals are, make them specific for you and make them achievable. All right, I don't want to, obviously there's many good things that we could do that are kind of outside of your immediate control. Most of you guys, I would assume, aren't driving cars yet. So even though the goal of buying an electric vehicle, or sometimes people put down buying a hybrid or putting solar panels on the roof, might not be practical for you now as a sixth grader. If you want to mark it down and say, my goal is to talk to my parents about something like that, maybe that's an initial first step. That's something that you can do. Okay? Once you complete page 1 and fill in all of this information, that's where you should stop for this. So that section 1 is your only homework. This is your only work that you're doing in class, and this is due by the end of this period. Thank you.